The airport was a blur of motion, suitcases rolled, announcements echoed, and people rushed past each other like fragments of a larger machine. Among the chaos stood Emily Hart, 28 years old, clutching her worn duffel bag in one hand and her 4-year-old daughter Lily's tiny fingers in the other. Her eyes were tired, bags under her eyes told stories of sleepless nights, double shifts, and a broken heart. She wasn't meant to be on this flight. Gate B14 was her destination, but somehow, in the rush and confusion, she had stumbled into Gate B41. A simple mistake that would change her life. The flight to New York was boarding. Emily had no idea she was heading to Chicago instead. Lily yawned beside her. Emily looked down, brushing the little girl's curls gently. "It's going to be okay, baby. Mommy's got this," she whispered, even though her heart told her otherwise. She was flying out for a job interview, one last chance at turning their life around. If she didn't get this job, they might lose their apartment by the end of the month. She squeezed past the business class seats, apologizing softly as her daughter dragged her pink bunny bag behind her. A well-dressed man looked up from his phone. Their eyes met for a second, his cold, gray ones scanning her for a moment before returning to his screen. He looked like he belonged in a magazine, custom suit, silver watch, everything about him screamed money and power. Emily awkwardly shuffled into the seat beside him with Lily curled on her lap. She didn't know she was sitting next to Nicholas Hale, the reclusive CEO of Hale Tech Industries. A man who hadn't smiled genuinely in years, despite the millions in his account. The plane took off. Nicholas tried to focus on his emails but found himself glancing sideways. He noticed the tears forming in the little girl's eyes as the air pressure changed. Emily was whispering comforting words, rubbing her daughter's back, humming a lullaby softly. That voice, it struck something deep in him. Something he had buried. "She okay?" he asked without thinking. Emily looked at him, surprised. "Yeah, just, her ears pop when we fly. First time on a plane." Nicholas nodded, not knowing what else to say. Something about her voice made him pause. She wasn't begging for pity. She was managing, enduring, surviving. There was quiet strength in her. Over the next hour, bits of conversation spilled between them. Nicholas asked where she was headed. She answered New York, for a job interview. A mistake made them both pause. "Wait, you're on the Chicago flight," he said. Emily's face drained of color. "What?" He double-checked her boarding pass. Somehow, she'd boarded the wrong plane, and now she was hundreds of miles off course. Tears welled up in her eyes, and she turned to the window, hiding her face. I can't miss this interview. It was my only chance," she whispered. Something shifted in Nicholas. He didn't know why, but the pain in her voice, raw, helpless, echoed something in his chest he hadn't felt in a long time. He picked up his phone. "Give me a minute," he said, typing furiously. By the time the plane landed, Emily was still holding Lily tightly, too numb to speak. Nicholas turned to her. "Come with me," he said gently. Confused but with no better plan, she followed. A black car waited outside. Nicholas made a few calls, and in less than an hour, a private jet had been arranged to fly her to New York the next morning. "You'll make your interview," he said. "I made sure of it." "Why are you helping me?" she asked, stunned. Nicholas paused. "Because, once, someone helped me when I didn't deserve it. And I never forgot." They sat in the lounge of his hotel, her eyes wide at the sheer elegance of the place. Lily laughed for the first time in days. Watching cartoons and munching on room service snacks. That night, Emily and Nicholas spoke for hours. About struggle, about loneliness, about love lost and dreams chased. She told him about her ex walking out, the eviction notices, the nights she cried in silence while Lily slept. He listened. And then he spoke. Of growing up in privilege but feeling abandoned, of building an empire only to find himself utterly alone at the top. Of losing his mother and with her, every trace of warmth. Something beautiful bloomed in the cracks of their shared vulnerability. The next morning, Nicholas personally walked Emily and Lily to the private jet. Before boarding, she turned and smiled, a real, grateful, tired but hopeful smile. "Thank you," she said. "For everything. You're stronger than you think," he replied. "And if the job doesn't work out, come find me." Emily blinked, unsure if he was joking. But he wasn't smiling like a man flirting, he was smiling like a man hoping. Days passed. Emily nailed the interview and got the job. A few months later, a care package arrived at Nicholas's office, cookies baked by Lily, and a hand-drawn picture of Uncle Nick, flying with angel wings. He stared at it for a long time. He flew to New York that weekend. Emily opened the door, eyes wide. "I missed my flight," he said sheepishly. "Thought I'd take the wrong one again." They both laughed, nervous, real, connected. From that moment, their lives intertwined. Slowly, carefully, with respect, laughter, shared pain, and healing. She had boarded the wrong flight. But somehow, it had taken her exactly where she was meant to go.